So it is already the beginning of April of 2025, and still to this day, the Walt Disney Company is dealing with the box office metrics surrounding Snow White, which, by the way, are abysmal beyond belief. We already know that there are massive numbers that Disney is dealing with right now when it comes to the box office results that are really not welcoming to them. We know that they lost well over $300 million for this movie when factoring in marketing expenses and even the press tour, the traveling expenses for Rachel Zegler, the marketing campaign as a whole really contributed to more losses on Disney's end. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, we already know that Bob Iger is really just desperately trying to engage in damage control time and time again, as he did just recently, and most certainly will try to do again in the near future, no doubt about that. But now you have more celebrities, more personalities, right? Those in the industry, or those within show business that are beginning to really just go against the critics. You know, really going against those that are very opinionated with valid reasons, I must add. There are valid reasons out there why this movie tanked at the box office. And look, Rachel Zegler was a very big player in that as to why this film is so poorly delivered, not just based on what she said before in the past, but how she acts in this movie. And let's not forget, all agendas aside, anything to do with Rachel Zegler aside, this doesn't mean I'm defending Rachel Zegler, but this movie is just a bad movie in isolation across the board, and I've said this time and time again. But focusing on Bill Burr, alright, who once seemed to have some level of common sense, is really beginning to go off the rails against the critics, those that have a very big problem with Snow White. He's not happy about it. He doesn't know, quite frankly, how to deal with the criticism toward a movie like Snow White, where he's beginning to sound quite ridiculous. Let's get into this. Now, with multiple celebrities now coming forward after Snow White failed at the box office and critics called out the film for what it was, one in particular that is beginning to grow very frustrated and angry with Snow White critics is Bill Burr, who recently said some of the worst things possible out there, where he delivered the following. What's with all of these families, man, getting bent out of shape over a Disney princess movie? What, because her skin is different? Don't give me that garbage. You know, this is exactly what's wrong with the current state of this country, is that we already have fathers and mothers not letting their children see a children's movie because I guess Snow White doesn't reflect who they are in the mirror. These fathers raising their children really need to grow a pair already. Like, if you are getting bent out of shape over a Cinderella movie, you have serious issues. Oh, sorry, I meant Snow White. Well, what's the difference? I mean, why do grown men and women also have a care in the world over a Snow White movie? I mean, really, just bring your kids to the theater and close your eyes and go to sleep or something if you are that careless. Then walk out of the theater so that you don't have to complain about something. And I don't want to even hear it when it comes from these people saying, well, it's woke, this, or Disney is throwing in some kind of a message. I would like to know exactly what they mean by that. What is the message by Disney? And you know you are just going to get the most ridiculous response from them, right? I tell you, man, my blood just boils with the families that are raising these children these days. This so-called boycott over a Snow White film, I was practically laughing at that. Though, of course, about that, look, if you want to watch a Snow White movie that better reflects you, maybe go watch the one from 1937 or something, because Disney really had no messaging in this period. These fathers and mothers and even non-fans of Snow White complaining about it, I think, is nothing more than projection of their terrible lives that they have to live through, and the thought that this is who they will be raising the next generation truly frightens me. So guys, let me just stop here about Bill Burr and what he's spewing. Now look, I've said this in the opening of this video that Bill Burr really seemed like he had some level of common sense, even not too long ago. And the fact that he went downhill so fast, I think really needs to be examined and really needs to be kind of like looked at very closely at this point, because it's very odd behavior. The fact that he's going off the rails lately, not just with this movie and the critics that are calling out this movie for what it really is, for valid reasons, mind you, but he's been going off the rails with other subjects that are just insane. I mean, it really makes you wonder why Bill Burr is just going down in a, of course, downward spiral like this. Now look, we know that there's a lot of personalities out there, a lot of quote-unquote celebrities that are not dealing with the criticism well because they know that they are beginning to get afraid, that people are growing very tired of cinema, people are growing very tired of movies that really, quite frankly, have no art to them. They have no creativity behind them. That's exactly why a lot of things are failing at the box office, right? It's nothing to do with just the agendas per se, but it's also a lack of creativity in Hollywood, right? They are creatively bankrupt as we speak. A lot of these studios really are. I mean, things have been done 10 times over. They forgot how to do or make original material for movies and television. But moving on from that, Bill Burr continues to spew more nonsense by saying the following, "And about the Seven Dwarfs. Are people really creating that argument too? Oh my god, they are CGI. Oh my god, they look freaky. Well, what do you expect, morons? It's a fairy tale. Did they not look creepy in the 37 original? Tell me that. Answer that. Next thing you know, people are going to complain about Minecraft because it doesn't focus on building Legos or something or blocks, whatever the hell they do in that thing. I think really this is why cinema is dying. It has nothing to do with what they call a woke agenda or anything like that. All they need to do is look in the mirror." Again, there goes Bill Burr, bringing up Minecraft, bringing up, of course, how cinema is dying because of critics. Look, the real problem is that the studios, like I mentioned before, they are creatively bankrupt. I mean, this is just a given fact. That or either they do double down on DEI to the point that they really are just totally distracted from creating a very good story. We all saw what happened with the Acolyte series, right? We all saw what happened there back in the summer of 2024. We saw what happened here with Snow White. We saw what happened with The Little Mermaid, as well as, other features that are about to drop in this year. We know that Ironheart, another Disney series for Disney Plus, is also going to be another one that focuses on the message instead of an actual story. He goes on to close, all they need to do is look in the mirror and realize how pathetic they really are in the moment of criticizing something that is meant for kids. Disney in this case, I think, deserves better because the outrage is absolutely insane and Disney doesn't deserve it. And just coming from a valid place with valid talking points, man, try to even do that. So look, I mean, Bill Burr is really beginning to lose it. I don't know why he's taking this like that personally when it comes to the critics calling out this movie for what it is. And look, it doesn't have anything to do with grown men, quote unquote, getting bent out of shape about this movie. This all has to do with calling out the typical Disney ideology, the typical Disney message that is being thrown into these movies, into these television programs that a lot of younger, audiences don't even want to listen to or watch. And that's exactly what's going on right now in show business, is that you're beginning to see, yes, a slow turn of the tide, but there is some resistance there. You have resistance from those like Bill Burr. You have some studios that are even resisting against, abolishing DEI and getting rid of those departments within different studios out there. So again, this is going to be a very slow process when it comes to Hollywood normalizing, if it ever even does. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, I think that Bill Burr is just losing his mind at this point, looking to pick a battle with the critics for obvious reasons. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.